Hi, I'm Dr. William Lee, and I want to talk to you today about one of the most misunderstood nutrients in your diet, protein. You've probably heard people say you need more protein to stay strong, but here's the real question. How much protein do you really need to prevent disease, protect your muscles, and stay energized, especially as you age? Most people get it wrong. They either eat too little or they eat the wrong kind. And both can hurt your health in ways you may not even feel until it's too late. Today, I'll show you how much protein your body actually needs, what happens if you get too little or too much, and the best foods to eat to get protein that heals, not harms. Let's get started. Segment 1. Why protein matters. Let's start with a simple truth. Protein is not just for bodybuilders. It's for everyone, especially as we get older. When you hear the word protein, you might think of muscles, gyms, or athletes. But protein is much more than that. It's a basic building block of life. Your body is made up of billions of cells, and almost every one of those cells needs protein to do its job. Your skin, your hair, your bones, your organs, and even your immune system all rely on protein to stay strong and healthy. Now here's where it gets really important. After the age of 50, our bodies naturally begin to lose muscle, even if we're eating the same and staying active. This is something called sarcopenia, which simply means age-related muscle loss. You may not notice it at first, but over time, it becomes harder to lift things, walk up stairs, or get up from a chair. You might feel more tired than usual, or you might notice you're not as steady on your feet. These changes don't happen overnight, but they're real, and they can lead to falls, injuries, and a loss of independence. And it's not just about muscles. Protein plays a big role in preventing disease too. When you don't get enough protein, your body has a harder time fighting off infections. Wounds and cuts take longer to heal. Your metabolism slows down, making it easier to gain fat and harder to manage blood sugar. Even your brain can feel the effects, with brain fog, fatigue, and slower thinking. On the other hand, when you get the right amount of protein, and the right kind, your body has what it needs to repair itself, fight inflammation, and stay energized. That means fewer sick days, stronger bones, better balance, and a sharper mind. And remember, you don't store protein in your body the way you store fat. So you need a steady supply every single day to keep things running smoothly. In short, protein isn't just about strength, it's about survival. It's one of the most powerful tools you can use to stay healthy, mobile, and independent as you age. Segment 2. How much protein do you actually need? Now that you understand why protein matters so much, the next question is this: how much protein do you actually need every day? This is where a lot of confusion begins. You may have heard the old advice that you only need about 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. For most people, that adds up to around 50 to 60 grams of protein a day. But the truth is, that number was based on preventing malnutrition, not staying healthy or strong. New research shows that if you're over 50, especially if you're trying to stay active, protect your muscles, or recover from illness, you actually need more than that. Your body doesn't absorb or use protein as efficiently as it did when you were younger. So you have to give it more to get the same effect. Most experts now recommend 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight for older adults. That means if you weigh 50 pounds, you might need closer to 80 to 100 grams of protein per day, not just 50. Now don't worry. You don't need to carry around a calculator or measure every bite of food. What matters most is the big picture. Here's a simple way to think about it. Make sure you're getting some protein at every meal, not just at dinner, not just once a day, but every time you sit down to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This steady supply helps your body rebuild, repair, and stay strong. It also helps you feel full longer, which means you're less likely to snack on processed foods or sugary treats in between meals. A lot of people skip protein at breakfast and load up on it at night. That doesn't work as well. Your body can only use so much protein at once. If you eat 50 grams at dinner but had almost none earlier in the day, your body can't make the most of it. In fact, some of it just gets wasted. So instead of thinking, how much protein do I need all day? Start thinking, am I getting enough at each meal? It's a small shift in mindset, but it can make a big difference in how you feel, how you move, and how you age. Segment 3. Signs you're not getting enough protein. Now let's talk about something most people overlook, the warning signs your body gives when you're not getting enough protein. Many adults, especially after age 50 or 60, are actually low in protein and don't even realize it. The signs are often quiet at first, but over time, they can start to affect your daily life. Let's go through some of the most common ones. First, you might notice that you're feeling weaker than usual. Maybe you used to carry groceries with no problem, but now your arms get tired, or climbing stairs feels harder. That's often a sign that your muscles are shrinking and your body doesn't have enough protein to maintain them. You might also feel more fatigued even after a good night's sleep. That's because your body uses protein to repair tissues and fuel your cells. Without enough, your system slows down. You feel it as tiredness, even if you're eating enough calories. Another common sign, slow healing. If you get a cut, bruise, or even have surgery and it takes longer than usual to heal, that's a red flag. Protein is essential for rebuilding skin, blood vessels, and tissues. Without it, your recovery time stretches out. Let's not forget the skin, hair, and nails. If your hair is thinning, breaking, or falling out more than usual, or if your skin feels saggy or looks dull, that could be your body telling you it needs more protein. Even your nails may grow slower or become more brittle. Another thing people often miss: frequent illnesses. If you seem to catch every cold or bug that goes around and you take longer to get better, that's a sign your immune system is running low on the building blocks it needs to function, and protein is one of the most important ones. Lastly, for some people, low protein shows up as brain fog. You might feel forgetful, struggle to focus, or have trouble finding words. That's because your brain needs amino acids, the small units that make up protein, to create chemicals that help you think clearly and feel mentally sharp. The bottom line is this: if you're feeling weaker, slower, sicker, or more tired than usual, it's time to take a closer look at your protein intake. Your body is always talking to you, and when it's not getting enough of something important like protein, it tries to let you know. The good news is, once you correct the problem, many of these symptoms can improve, and fast. Segment 4. The best sources of protein. Now that you know how important protein is and how to recognize when you're not getting enough, let's talk about something just as important. Where should your protein come from? Because here's the truth: not all protein is created equal. Yes, your body needs protein, but the quality of that protein matters just as much as the amount. Some types of protein help your body heal, protect your heart, support your immune system, and even reduce inflammation, but others can increase your risk of cancer, heart disease, and other chronic conditions. Let's start with the best sources of protein, the ones that protect your body and support long life. First up, seafood. Fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, and trout are excellent sources of high-quality protein. They also give you omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation, protect your heart, and even support brain health. These are true longevity foods, and they're easy to add to your diet just a couple of times a week. Next, we have eggs. Eggs are one of nature's most complete proteins. They're rich in choline, which supports brain health, and contain lutein, which helps protect your eyes. Despite old myths, for most people, eating whole eggs, including the yolk, is safe and healthy. They're easy to cook, affordable, and versatile. Then there are plant-based proteins, which are often overlooked but incredibly powerful. Think lentils, chickpeas, black beans, edamame, tofu, and tempeh. These are all rich in protein and also provide fiber, which supports gut health and lowers cholesterol. Beans and legumes also feed the good bacteria in your gut, and we now know a healthy gut is linked to everything from better mood to stronger immunity. Nuts and seeds are also excellent. Almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, these all contain protein, healthy fats, and important minerals like magnesium and zinc. They're great as a snack or added to meals like oatmeal or salads. Just be mindful of portion size as they are calorie dense. Greek yogurt is another fantastic option, especially if it's plain, unsweetened, and made from whole milk. It's packed with protein, supports your gut with probiotics, and keeps you full longer. Choose varieties with no added sugar to get the full benefit. Now, what about poultry, like chicken and turkey? These can be good sources of lean protein, especially if you remove the skin and bake or grill instead of frying. They're low in saturated fat and can be included a few times a week as part of a balanced diet. Whole grains also contribute more protein than people think. Quinoa, for example, is one of the few plant foods that's a complete protein, meaning it contains all the essential amino acids your body needs. Other grains like brown rice, farro, and barley can complement other protein sources nicely. So, to sum it up, your best protein choices are fish and seafood, eggs, beans and legumes, tofu and tempeh, nuts and seeds, Greek yogurt, lean poultry, protein-rich whole grains like quinoa. Now let's talk briefly about what to avoid. Be careful with processed meats, things like bacon, sausage, deli meats, and hot dogs. Yes, they contain protein, but they also contain preservatives, nitrates, and added sodium, which are linked to a higher risk of cancer, heart disease, and stroke. The World Health Organization has even classified processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen, meaning there's clear evidence they can cause cancer in humans. If you eat red meat, choose small portions of unprocessed, grass-fed options. But even then, it should be occasional, not daily. You can meet all your protein needs without relying heavily on red meat. So it's not just about eating enough protein, it's about choosing the right kinds, the ones that build your health, not break it down. Segment 5, how to balance protein throughout the day. Let's talk now about something that most people get wrong, even if they're eating the right kinds of protein. It's when you eat your protein, many people eat very little protein at breakfast, a little more at lunch, and then load up at dinner. That's what we've been taught to do. A light breakfast, a medium lunch, and a big dinner. But your body doesn't work that way. You see, your body can only use so much protein at one time. After a certain amount, any extra protein won't go toward building muscle or repairing tissue. It just gets used for energy or stored. That means if you're eating 60 or 70 grams of protein all at once during dinner, but barely 10 grams at breakfast, your body isn't getting what it needs when it needs it. The secret is balance. Research shows that spreading your protein out evenly through the day helps your body build and maintain muscle, support your immune system, keep your blood sugar stable, keep your energy levels more steady, and help you feel full longer, which can prevent unhealthy snacking. Let me give you a simple, practical example of what this looks like. At breakfast, instead of just toast or fruit, include a solid source of protein. That could be 2 eggs, a cup of Greek yogurt, a tofu scramble, or even a smoothie made with unsweetened plant-based protein powder, nut butter, and berries. Now you've started your day with 15 to 20 grams of protein, and your body is already getting what it needs to support your muscles and brain. At lunch, don't just rely on carbohydrates. Add a lean protein source like grilled salmon or tuna, chicken breast, a lentil or chickpea salad, or a quinoa bowl with tofu and vegetables. This gives you another 20 to 30 grams and it keeps your metabolism going strong through the afternoon. At dinner, you don't need to overload. A modest serving of fish, poultry, beans, or tempeh paired with vegetables and whole grains is plenty. And if you like a small snack before bed, you can even sneak in a bit more protein to support overnight repair and muscle maintenance. Try a handful of almonds, a hard-boiled egg, or some cottage cheese if you tolerate dairy. The goal is not to overthink it or count every gram. It's about consistency. A steady supply of protein throughout the day gives your body the tools it needs to function, heal, and thrive. And remember, protein isn't just about your muscles. It's about how your body ages, how your immune system responds, and how resilient you stay through stress, illness, and the demands of everyday life. So don't just ask yourself, am I getting enough protein today? Ask, Am I giving my body the support it needs at the right times every day? Because timing matters. And when you get it right, you feel the difference. Segment 6, protein and disease prevention. Now let's take everything we've talked about, muscle strength, energy recovery, immune support, and connect it to what matters most. Preventing disease, staying strong, and living longer. The food you eat every day can either protect you or slowly wear you down, and protein is one of the most powerful tools you can use to protect your body from disease, especially as you age. Let's start with something many people worry about, type 2 diabetes. When you eat enough high-quality protein, especially from fish, legumes, nuts, or eggs, it helps stabilize your blood sugar. That means fewer spikes and crashes, better energy throughout the day, and less demand on your pancreas to pump out insulin. In fact, studies show that a protein-rich breakfast can help reduce cravings and keep blood sugar balanced for hours. That's a simple habit that can help lower your risk of developing insulin resistance, the root cause of type 2 diabetes. Now, what about heart disease? The #1 cause of death for both men and women worldwide. When your protein comes from clean, whole foods like fish, tofu, lentils, and nuts, and not from processed meats like sausage and bacon, your heart benefits in several ways. Your blood pressure stays healthier, your cholesterol levels improve, and inflammation in your blood vessels goes down. That means fewer clogs in your arteries, better circulation, and a lower risk of heart attacks and strokes. Protein also plays a major role in preventing frailty, something that many people don't think about until it's too late. Frailty isn't just about feeling weak. It means your body has a harder time recovering from illness, injury, or even stress. When you're frail, a minor infection or a small fall can turn into a hospital visit, or worse, getting the right amount of protein spread throughout the day helps preserve your muscle mass, keep your balance and mobility strong, and speed up recovery when you do get sick or injured. Let's also talk briefly about cancer recovery. If you or someone you love is undergoing cancer treatment, your body needs even more protein to heal, recover, and fight back. Protein helps rebuild healthy cells, protect immune function, and support your gut, which can take a hit during chemotherapy or radiation. And finally, there's growing evidence that protein supports brain health too. Remember, your brain is a living, active organ. It needs building blocks to make the chemicals that help you focus, remember things, and stay emotionally balanced. Without enough protein, those systems can slow down. That's why diets with healthy, balanced protein are now being studied for their role in protecting against cognitive decline and dementia. So whether we're talking about blood sugar, heart disease, immunity, or memory, the science is clear. Protein isn't just about staying fit, it's about staying alive, staying independent, and staying well. And when you get the right types of protein at the right times, your food becomes your defense system. It becomes your medicine. So now you know the truth. Protein isn't just something you need more of, it's something you need to get right. It's not about eating huge portions of meat or loading up on protein shakes. It's about giving your body the right amount from the right sources at the right time. Let's quickly recap what we've learned. Protein is essential for your muscles, your immune system, your brain, your heart, and your healing. As you age, your body needs more protein, not less, especially if you want to stay active and independent. The best sources of protein are clean, natural, and nutrient-dense. Think seafood, eggs, beans, nuts, tofu, and yogurt. Spread your protein out throughout the day, at every meal, not just at dinner. And most of all, remember this: the quality of your protein matters just as much as the quantity. This isn't about going on a diet. It's about building a foundation, one meal at a time, for a longer, healthier, stronger life. If you're in your 50s, 60s, or beyond, now is the time to start paying attention to protein, not just to prevent disease, but to keep doing the things you love for as long as possible. Because food isn't just fuel, food is medicine, and protein is one of the most powerful healing tools you have on your plate. If you found this video helpful, I encourage you to give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to this channel for more science-based ways to eat to beat disease.